Dante Moore, Drew Allar, they face off Saturday night. And both quarterbacks, 2026 NFL draft stocks, have a lot riding on this game.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast of your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson. I'm an NFL draft analyst with Bleacher Report. That's my guy, Keith Sanchez. He's a director of scouting with the Draft Network and 2019 national champion with those LSU Tigers. And as always, thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. It's week 5 of college football ahead of the 2026 NFL Draft, which means it's time to talk statement makers, offensive statement makers, defensive statement makers, and those 2026 sleeper prospects that you must know about. Keith, let's get started. And
I want to start off like this, DP, because this is such a great weekend of college football, right? It's a Sunday night football thing, but I want to say it for college football, right? I want to be like, oh, you ready for some football? Like it makes me want to sing, right? A Sunday night party. It'd be a Saturday night party. We have some big matchups.
It's a great slate of games.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm happy right now. I'm genuinely happy.
Me too. I'm gonna be packing up and stuff and everything for the move and whatnot. I'm gonna be in here packing with the games on in my office, putting stuff in boxes, getting all that situated, Keith. But I go right to the game that I've been excited for the last 2 weeks, waiting for, and that's the Oregon matchup versus Penn State. And I go to Dante Moore. Who needs to make a statement for me? For me, is Dante Moore. I want to see what this looks like. This young man's been playing great ball all season. This would be his first true test this year. Yep. Going on the road, 7:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Like I said, that Mobamba playing, the whiteout. It's a that's one of the toughest environments when they really like allow Penn State to have that environment, which I feel it doesn't have it as often. When they have those type of games, it's a tough environment to play in. The crowd is going crazy. It's a night game. It's a tough place to play. And for Dante Moore, I think he showcases the accuracy. I like the ball, the arm talent I've seen on film. He has mobility, but he wants to win from the pocket, things of that nature. He has the weapons, Kenyon Sadiq, DeCarrion Moore. I think it's Gary Bryant Jr., the other receiver, and everything. Got to figure out what's going on with that run game. I thought Mekhi Hughes was going to be more utilized.
So the problem is they have like 8 running backs.
They got a ton of them.
And all of them are really good. Yeah. So they have a run game. They run game, but they just have so many running backs. And Mekhi Hughes, I know he's probably sitting there like,
I should have transferred here.
Yeah, I probably could have stayed at Tulane, right?
I should have stayed. I should have went. Maybe I should have went with my quarterback, with the Duke.
Yeah, because they're running a football. It's just whenever I watch them, there's different running backs, and I can't get mad because those guys look pretty doggone good too.
They definitely put guys in the league year after year since Dan Lanning has got there. So I'm looking at Dante Moore, man. I want to see how he handles this environment, this defense. With AJ Harris and Zane Durant, Denai Dennis Sutton, Zaki Wheatley in the secondary. Like this defensive line, this defense period could really give them some fits early in that game. I want to see how he handles that pressure.
Yeah, no, I like that, DP, and I was going to go with him, but I couldn't help myself but name Mr. Drew Allar, right? Mr. Big Time himself. I won't even say consensus, right? But amongst a lot of people, first round prospect, has had an up and down career. This will be his final year. So these are your final couple tests, DP. And I pulled up the schedule. And listen, it's the Oregon game. They have a game against Iowa. We'll see how Indiana is, and they have Ohio State. So this is test 1 of your resume, right? Just regular season resume of saying that, you know what, I am a first round quarterback. And I just wait for the big moments with him. And I liken this to almost how I've seen people discuss the Baltimore Ravens, right? Like it's not even about the regular season. It's about the postseason and big time moments for the Baltimore Ravens. I feel the same way about Drew Allar. Like I can almost care less what week 3 against West Virginia looks like. I care about the big time matchups and seeing you perform in those matchups. So I want to see what Drew does. It's a whiteout, it's a home game, and sometimes DP being at home is a little bit more added pressure for those fans because for the players, because they know it can go both ways, meaning that the whole 100,000, and I think is what Beaver Stadium is what Happy Valley Beaver Stadium, I think is what it's called, something like that. But the whole stadium can be behind you, but if you start to play bad, they can be against you, right? And so I think it can go both ways as far as the pressure of that, right? Like maybe he feels comfortable at home, but maybe he feels the pressure of having to show up and play. I just want to see him in a high leverage moment against a very talented team, go out and have a good, efficient, great decision making game. Because that's it's going to tell me a lot about Penn State, DP, because when they walked into the season, I believe that they were national championship favorites, so they were like number 2 or something like that. But if you can't get it done against the big time teams, I mean, that's all the college football playoff is. It's the good football team. So you have to play well. So I want to see what you're going to be able to do, what he's going to be able to do specifically. So I'm definitely going with him as an offensive statement maker.
Yeah, that was another guy I had. I had a list of. It felt like it was most quarterbacks.
We probably could have
a lot of quarterbacks. Whole show on quarterbacks. But yeah, I look at Drew and it's like, last year you had built-in excuses. You didn't have now. Harrison Wallace III would disagree and say I was a weapon. They just didn't use me correctly because he's clearly balling out over there at Ole Miss. But most people viewed your receiving core as a weak point, an Achilles heel of your team and of your offense. It was Tyler Warren, Nick Singleton, and Katron Allen. Now you have Devontae Ross. You have Kyron Hudson. You have Trevor Pena. You have another athletic young tight end. In this game at home, you have to deliver. Like this, you can't walk out of this game completing 50% of your passes with 2 interceptions. You cannot do that in this game. It's different when you go on the road to Autzen. I think Oregon's is Autzen Stadium. You go to Oregon. People can give you a little bit of. I mean, I think he went. Yeah, you went to. No, that was Will Howard went to Oregon and they had that game in the middle of the season. You played them in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah,
you played well, but still, yet you didn't come out. This is a game for you to get your get back, get your lick back. So you know what? No, we're going to put you guys now 0-1 in because I think they won 1 or 2 conference games. But you put them down the standings where we're at the top of the Big Ten and you're behind us now. You got to catch up to us. And as long as we keep our foot on the gas pedal, we can continue to separate. So I'm with you. Love to call out Drew Allar. If I didn't go Dante Moore, I was going to go Drew Allar. So we're neck and neck in that situation. We're in lockstep. Keith, I go to your neck of the woods. Garrett Nussmeier. Again, we're talking quarterbacks.
100%.
We talked about this. Like Nuss, and I still have a first round grade on Nuss. Like Nuss is still my QB, for the season. Like the draft for the day, he'd still be my QB2 behind Fernando Mendoza. And I think he could still be a high quality quarterback for an NFL team. He fits that West Coast scheme to a T. Getting the ball out quick, high football IQ, all of that, right? Now I need that I am him game. I need that game from Nussmeier because you're going up against Lane Kiffin and this offense, and I expect Trinidad James, who I'll talk, Trinidad Chambliss, not Jesus, not the rapper.
All gold, everything, DP. All gold, everything.
Not the rapper. I haven't seen Trinidad James in a long time, but not that Trinidad, but Trinidad Chambliss. I was talking about him a little bit later, but I expect him to still be the starter after another 400 plus yard performance last week against Tulane. Nuss, this is not DJ Lagway who's going to give you 5 turnovers and give you the ball back. You got to put up points, and that's what I'm looking for to him. Is I know that you have the accuracy, the ball placement, all that stuff. I need to see you when your defense, because this offense is going to give this defense a different look. This isn't Clemson. Like Clemson got some good young receivers and everything. They don't have the play caller. This is a team that clearly has a quarterback, receivers, and a play caller, and they run the football. They got another running back. I don't know how Lane keeps finding these guys, but they got another running back that we're probably going to be talking about within 2 years if he doesn't transfer out. Garrett, Nussmeier, you got to handle business.
No, yeah, he definitely has to handle business. And for this quarterback class, this is another pivotal moment, right? Like in that, and we talked about it on this issue. That's why I'm excited because now
Yeah.
we're getting into conference play. We're getting some valuable matchups going on the power and no disrespect, right? But the group of five matchups that
Mhm.
aren't really true data points for us, right? And
Right,
they're
right,
data
right.
points for the group of five young men that are playing the power five guys. But when we're evaluating these power five guys, right, you want to see like a similar competition. So I agree, DP. We went three quarterbacks. We went Dante Moore, quarterback of Oregon. We went Drew Allar, quarterback of Penn State. We went Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback of LSU. DP, you know what we do, man. We show love to both sides of the football. Let's switch sides of the football. We are going to talk about the defensive statement makers to watch for this week of college football coming up next.
This episode is brought to you by Square. Your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. There are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home. Whether it's the local sports bar packed on game days, the coffee shop that knows your order by heart, or the corner deli that's been serving your community for decades, these are the places that bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. And spending money there doesn't just support the business, it supports the people behind the business and the community around it. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/lockedonnfl to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy that you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. It's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For the Oklahoma Sooners, quarterback John Mateer delivered in a big way. With less than 5 minutes left on the clock in the fourth quarter, he came up with a big-time rushing touchdown, all while having a broken or busted thumb on his throwing hand. When the pressure was on, he came through, no hesitation, no delay, and they won the game. And if you've been watching week after week, this performance wasn't a fluke. John Mateer is on a streak. And just like John Mateer delivered for Oklahoma, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. And with DoorDash streaks, you save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through 11/18. Defensive statement makers in week 5 of college football for the 2026 NFL draft. Keith, I go right to Ohio State cornerback Davison Igbinosun. He's got a big time challenge
I
on
like
his
that pull.
hands.
I like that pull. I like that.
Denzel Boston coming into town, 6'4", 209. Are they on the road against them?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's at Washington.
Oh, it's at Washington. Okay, so you're on the other side of the country, number one. You know what I mean? Different time, and all that type of stuff. And you're going against a guy who's ascending right now. Anybody that watched that Washington State game or watched the film, Denzel Boston is a dude. With the ball in the air, he's going to make that play. And I try not to do it, Keith, because it's like I felt lazy even thinking about it. I was like, I feel like I'm watching Roma Dunze again. Like, you know
Yep,
what I mean? I was like, I
I
don't want
agree.
to do it, but I
Probably
was
very
like,
similar body types, profiles, everything.
6'4",
Height, weight. Yep,
209. Like,
yep.
yeah, like I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be my comp. If nothing changes, it's probably gonna be Roman. And I hate it because it's low hanging fruit, but it is what it is. You take, you give me a home run, I'm gonna take it. So
Yep.
for Davison Igbinosun, that his physical and aggressive play style, he likes to be grabby and handsy, things of that nature. It's hard to do that against physical receivers because they've kind of embraced it. It's like, okay, you want to play close, you want to play physical. So when I do kind of chicken wing you, the refs are going to give me some leeway. They're not going to flag me like that. I can separate with my body and things. Davidson's going to have to show me he can cover this young man, without being super handsy. Don't get those. What you don't want is the back breaking on 3rd and 10. That 10-yard, 15-yard penalty for defensive pass interference because you're holding him at the top of the route because you're panicking. I don't want to see that. I want to see him be able to mirror and match, stay, trust your technique. Stay true to your technique, trust it, and play good defense. If you can do that, this is an opportunity for you to stamp yourself against one of the best receivers in this draft class.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And what that was yesterday's episode, I talked about Malachi Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Boston is probably right behind him as far as a quick riser.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I might
Mm-hmm.
put a first round grade on this young man when it's all
Yep.
said and done. So I agree. And the thing with Davison Igbinosun is he checks all of the physical boxes. Like you look at this young man, you like, oh,
Like
he's
6'2", 200
yeah, he
pounds.
chiseled guy, good weight, all of the different things that you want in a premier number one corner. It's just he has to put all of the details together. Like you talked about the being grabby, things like that. Guess what? He's gonna have plenty of reps to figure out if he wants to grab or not, right? With this
Right.
Washington wide receiver core DP. I'm gonna go to a game. We talked about it on last segment, but I'm gonna flip sides of the football. I'm gonna talk about LSU and the two defensive statement makers. One, I'm gonna go both linebackers. I'm gonna go Harold Perkins and I'm gonna go Whit Weeks. Whit Weeks, leader of this defense, has been making a lot of plays. I think since his freshman sophomore year, almost appears to be the heart and soul of this defense, right? Like the emotional leader in a way. And so I want to see what he does because you talked about it, Lane Kiffin, and he does such a great job. Like how many times have we seen like almost that fake toss, right, to get the linebacker out the way and then throw that seam route right behind him, right, where he goes. And Lane is notorious for that. And what I'm talking about, y'all know the play that Jackson Dart ran in preseason, that play, right, that he, everybody's like, oh, man, it's a great play. Lane ran that with him 10 different times at Ole Miss. And so just all of the different eye manipulations and things that he does, I'm interested to see that. Harold Perkins, I think he's settling in. I'm not sure if he's settling into what it used to be a top 10 pick, but I think for him, after everything that happened, then a torn ACL, a potential top 100 pick, I think that's a win for him, right? At this very moment, and he's settling in a little bit to a specific role. I want to see if he's going to be able to rush the quarterback, right? And then make some plays in space because he has been making plays in space, kind of being that hybrid nickel type of defender, nickel-esque type linebacker, but then also walking down on the line of scrimmage. I want to see if he can go grab him a sack or two. Go be disruptive. This game is at Ole Miss, right? So it's going to be rowdy. Ole Miss is undefeated up until this point. I think the toughest matchup might have been Kentucky, I believe.
Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas was another. So they played Kentucky and Arkansas. So they have two decent
wire.
Yeah, that one, definitely did go to the wire. So they had two decent opponents. And you get a new quarterback, like you talked about, Trinidad Chambliss, not James. Trinidad Chambliss. You have to watch, what he can do because I think he can make a couple plays with his legs, but then also he can throw the football and appears to be a better decision maker at this point than what Austin Simmons is this very point, right? So I'm looking at the two linebackers because I think they're going to be so important in the second level of that defense, and their discipline is going to be key. And I think they could name for themselves.
Absolutely. And I mean, Kadyn, you tell me how you think about this. I think I tweeted this out probably like a week or two ago, or probably about 2 weeks ago. With Perkins, like, because he's playing that star role for LSU right now. I would similar to what we see from Jamal Adams in the NFL. That's kind of how I would use Harold Perkins, like in the NFL. That just kind of joker, jack of all trades situation. Like that type of vibe is where I would want to use Harold Perkins, where it's like, man, he's like sometimes he's a safety, other times he's a linebacker, other times he's a pass rusher. I just want to use him as that joker, that movable chess piece on the board.
You have to look at him almost like a strong safety, and also it'll have to be a team that I have to protect him because do I necessarily want him to play man to man in those situations? No. So I kind of look at him as two different positions. He either had to be your weak side linebacker or your strong safety, right? Because I would want this guy to be close to the run game to be able to insert, but then in certain situations, can I just tell him go ahead and blitz, right? So he might be your fourth or fifth inserter if you have a team that blitzes a lot. Allow him to go ahead and attack. I just wouldn't. I mean, the young man is probably 21, 22, somewhere around there. I'm not trying to teach him how to play man-to-man against these slot wide receivers in the NFL at this moment, right? Like, it's just go ahead and leave that alone. Leave that alone.
I want him in the low hole defender
hook
in the
curl,
box.
Hook curl, curl or flat. Let me do one of those two.
Those type of things, and we rocking. Keith, I'm gonna go back to that Oregon Penn State matchup, and this is a guy I feel like people aren't talking about a lot in this edge rush group. I just talked about it on, was it yesterday's pod? We talked about the NFL draft storylines with the edge rush group. Denied Dennis Sutton. Denied Dennis Sutton. I need to. This is a game. Dante Moore coming in. The way that you keep him off schedule, off kilter, is by number 33 getting in the backfield. Mm-hmm. And that matchup of him, whenever we see it, that matchup between Dennis Sutton and Isaiah World is going to be something to watch in the trenches.
Well, I was going to say that too, DP. Watch out for their other offensive tackle because he's a fairly decent player too. Their right tackle.
Gotcha.
He's another guy I believe they got out the transfer portal too. So to your point, I think watch both tackles, right? Watch him because I think either side can be NFL matchups. Now, him going against Isaiah World could be a top 50 prospect matchup.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? So I agree with you.
Yeah, somebody's stock is going to drop after this game. Yeah, when those two guys face each other.
Only one
can win. Either it's World or it's going to be denied Dennis Sutton. But I think that's going to be just a. You talk about the fact that Oregon runs the football, setting hard edges, forcing them back into the teeth of your defense on early downs, but getting back there early in this game to get after the young quarterback that is Dante Moore, right? Make him feel and hear footsteps. Make him get the ball out early before the pressure even gets there. Get into his head and play those type of mind games because you've been able to get back there from the onset of the game. I think that's going to be a big thing for Dennis Sutton, man. It's just I want to feel that impact in this game where your pass rush, you're winning your pass rush, whether it's outside rush, inside rush, whatever. Get into the backfield, live in the backfield, and show NFL teams why you could be a top 35 pick, top 32 pick. Like you said yesterday, with these edge rushers, it's usually that back stretch of the 25 to 32 where teams are like, you know what, we need an edge rusher. Like, let's go ahead and get our guy. And there's a lot of teams right now in the NFL that says, we kind of need an edge rusher. Like, there's probably some teams when they're kicking themselves like, man, did James Pierce Jr. really have that many problems at Tennessee? Yep. Like, I feel like the Falcons got to steal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be looking at this draft class and these edges, and Danny Dennis Sutton, like, this is his opportunity to stamp himself. And I want to see how he plays against this group of tackles and a quarterback like Dante Moore.
Yep, 100% with DP. We talk offensive playmakers. We talk defensive playmakers. It's time to talk the sleepers, right? The sleepers that are falling under the radar but can make an impact in these slate of games of Week 5 of college football. Let's talk about the sleeper prospects to watch coming up next.
Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply just move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS top safety pick awards than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings this same intention to how we craft every model. You can make everyday drives feel like anything, but from smooth handling to intuitive controls with all-wheel drive standard in every single crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through any season, through almost any season and almost any weather. So, like our players, we sweat all the details. Again, like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and everyday shot for being our everyday. As Keith, I'm going back to that LSU Ole Miss game. I'm gonna get it right this time.
If you couldn't tell, this LSU Ole Miss game has a lot.
It's got a lot riding on it. And I'm going to Trinidad Chambliss, not James this time. You know what I mean? But all gold. If he keeps playing like this, you may as well give him a gold grill and let him go ahead and embrace it. Trinidad Chambliss, man. And I watched the tape against Tulane. This I don't know how he was at Ferris State, Keith. Like, I don't somebody in recruiting dropped the ball across the country at every team. Like, this young man can play.
He can play football.
Like, he can play, man. I think he's listed at like 6'1", like 200
He's not very big, yeah. And then maybe that was the thing. Maybe he came out, he was only like a 5'11" quarterback or something that. But I agree, he could play.
He looks to me like Russell Wilson. Like, he looks like Russ. And then the fact that he's a fearless rusher, And and not only that, he's athletic, he's fluid as a mover. I like his arm. He works the quick game. He's handling full field reads, coming back down to his check down. I'm like, what? There's a lot of teams that could use this kid right now. They could use him at quarterback right now, Keith. This is a game. Like, if you go think about what this does for his draft stock. Going out here, your third start, you're 2-0 as a starter, right? You outdueled Taylor Green. You beat up on Tulane. If you can go out here and outduel Garrett Nussmeier and LSU, especially against Mansour Delane and that secondary and Perkins and Whit Weeks, and this defense is good and they have NFL talent littered all over it. If you go out here and put up a performance like you did last week, 400 yards from scrimmage, multiple touchdowns, protect the football, and if you are able to walk out of walk back into your dorm room, into your apartment or house, whatever you're in Ole Miss, you walk back in there with a dub, and you just played the game of your life. Like, yes, NFL teams are going to be sitting there like, all right, this kid from Ferris State who's at Ole Miss, yeah, we might need to be looking at him on it started day 2. Like, I think that he's got a lot riding on this game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm gonna go with this, DP. Again, another matchup, and that's why we said it's such a great matchup of college football. A week of college football. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with the Alabama Georgia game, and I'm looking at Kadyn Proctor, DP. I want to see how he holds up. I think what his first big test was the Florida State game, right? And it didn't go great, to be honest with you. Didn't go great at all. In Georgia, I'm not sure off the top of my head, right, a premier edge rusher, but they have some guys, right? And then they also have to deal with Kristen Miller at the interior defensive line position, and they move him around to different things. CJ Allen, right, the linebacker on the second level, him doing some different things. I want to see Kadyn Proctor because it's going to tell me a lot as far as should you keep this guy in a first round conversation, because this is going to be a high level matchup for him. It's going to be a high level test. Alabama was able to run away with the Wisconsin game. I don't foresee them running away with this one, right? So it's not going to lean one way or another. It's going to stay complex. It's going to stay a lot of different things being thrown at him. It's going to be interesting, DP, because one thing, Georgia has athletes on the defensive side of the football. So I want to see, and they have speed to power guys, right? Guys that check those boxes. So I want to see what he's going to be able to do against the different edge rushers, and even I think the interior offensive lineman, Parker Brailsford, right? He's a guy that's been talked about. I think he came with Kalen DeBoer from Washington last year. How he's going to hold up against this Georgia defensive line. So those two prospects, and I know it's not the sexiest positions and the most fun positions, but I'll be looking at Alabama offensive line because those prospects are something to definitely kind of pay attention to overall.
Yeah, and I mean for Kadyn Proctor, like, you got to get in this game. Like, we watched Joey Aguilar and them be able to hit the deep ball and create explosive plays against that Georgia secondary. That Georgia secondary it's not the scary secondary we're used to seeing at Georgia no more, right? Not right now. So what happens if you protect Ty Simpson and you able to let him uncork some of these deep throws? Remember what Jalen Milroe was able to do to them last year in that deep ball to who? Ryan Williams. Now you got Jeremy Bernard cooking this year. Yep. Like, I mean, the start ability of Ryan Williams showed up against Wisconsin on that long touchdown, that catch he had, that catch and run. So Kadyn Proctor in this offense, because if you can live on the island, that allows the other 4 guys to then combo block and help one another and protect one another. But if you got to have somebody protecting you, that doesn't help the offensive line. Like, you're supposed to be the star and the cornerstone of the offensive line.
Yeah, then it affects personnel too, right? Because then you're probably going to have to leave a running back in the chip, or you're going to have to bring a tight end in the game, and you can't go full wide, right? You have to run a different personnel to be able to spread them out. Like Tennessee was able to potentially just, run 5-man protections and say, you know what, we got 4 wide receivers out there and just let it fly. Let's see what happens. But so he definitely has to show up. I'm interested to watch Kadyn Proctor.
Yeah, I need to see him like really kind of like just play at a high level, because he's super talented. He is a talent of a top 10 pick at tackle, but we need to see you be consistent and to play, just high level football.
Yeah, like, and let's say this because you mentioned him already, Isaiah World. Could you see a world where they switch places, right? Isaiah World is the top 10 pick after this matchup, and then we're wondering where we have to place Kadyn Proctor in the draft draft spear, right?
Draft space and everything. Keith, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I go to this Big Ten game, Iowa hosting Indiana, right? 3:30 kickoff. Game gonna be on Peacock. I go to Omar Cooper Jr., the receiver from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big name receiver at Indiana is Elijah Surratt. Good player. And I think that chemistry between him and Fernando Mendoza should continue to grow this year.
Absolutely. Yep.
Omar Cooper Jr. might be their best playmaker right now, though. Like this, he plays in the slot. He's listed at 6 foot, 204 pounds. He's a run after catch threat through and through. Last week he caught 6 of his 7 catches, 78 yards and a touchdown against Illinois. And of his 78 yards, Keith, I'm pretty sure 55 of the 78 came after the catch. Against Indiana State, he was 10 for 10, 207 and 4 touchdowns, right? 134 of his 207 came after the catch. He's a playmaker with the football in his hands, especially with the way that when Mendoza gets into that groove of being locked in and he's getting the ball out quick, and it's just like I used to call Tua the sprinkler, gets through his reads, it's tick, tick out. And when he could get the ball to a guy like Omar Cooper and just let him make the play and the accuracy, get it to him in space, put the ball where it needs to be, and he can make plays after the catch. Like against Iowa's defense is good. It's always going to be good. They always find defenders.
Mm-hmm.
It's the offense you got to worry about. And if I'm Indiana, I'm like, yeah, I want to go up 21-0 in the first quarter on you.
Yep, make them one-dimensional.
Make them one-dimensional and make them have to play. Omar Cooper, guys, he's eligible. I think he's a senior for this draft. Might be a guy we see at the Senior Bowl or at the Shrine Bowl, one of these off-season or after-season bowl games before the draft. He's a good player, man, and I think people need to get their eyes on Omar Cooper Jr.
Well, there we go, DP. That wraps up another episode, man, of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. I want to end this podcast off by saying shout out to our everydayers. Thank you for tapping in with us each and every single day. I am Keith Sanchez. You can find me on X at The Talent Code. That right there is my guy, my co-host, Mr. Damian Parson. You can find him on X at DP_NFL. And like we like to say, man, y'all gonna talk to us because we like to talk back.
Go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.